The backyard was decorated with blue and silver balloons. My son, Ezra, had turned 9 that morning, and despite everything, he was excited for this party. His grandfather had promised to come, and that still meant something to him. I should have known. My father, Silas, arrived late as usual, driving the Mercedes I had helped him buy, though he didn't know it. My mother, Veda, followed behind him, carrying a dish of food with that expression she got when she knew trouble was coming, but had stopped trying to prevent it. "There's the birthday boy," Silas announced, his voice projecting across the whole yard. He was good at making an entrance and grabbing everyone's attention. 20 people turned to look as he approached Ezra with his hands behind his espalda. Ezra's face lit up. He was at that age where he still believed in the goodness of grandparents. He still thought blood meant something automatic and unconditional. Silas pulled a crumpled plastic bag from a discount store from behind his back and tossed it at Ezra. He didn't hand it to him. He tossed it like someone throwing scraps to a dog. "Poor kids get poor gifts," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Maybe when your mom gets a real job, you'll get real gifts." The yard fell silent. My sister, Elena, stopped in the middle of a conversation. My brother-in-law turned away, suddenly very interested in the grill. The neighbors who had come with their kids suddenly found reasons to check their phones. Ezra caught the bag and the smile on his face froze. He looked down at the crumpled plastic with the store's logo, and I saw something die in his eyes, not because of the gift itself, but because of the cruelty with which it was given, the public humiliation, the message that he wasn't even worth basic kindness. My wife, Eden, started to walk toward him, but I put a hand on her arm. This was my battle. I took out my phone and opened my banking app. My finger hovered over the scheduled transfers screen, where, for the last 6 years, automatic payments had gone out every month like clockwork. "Like the bills you can't pay without my money," I said. My voice was low, almost conversational, but it cut through the silence like a knife. My father's face turned white, truly white, as if the color had drained so fast you could see it happening. "What are you talking about?" he said, but his confidence was gone. I turned the screen toward him. "I'm talking about the 30,000 pesos I transfer to your account every month. The money that pays your mortgage, the car payment, your golf club fees." My mother grabbed his arm. "Silas," she whispered, "not here, not now." "Why not here?" I asked. "He chose here. He chose now. He chose to humiliate my son in front of everyone at his birthday party." Elena was watching me with an unreadable expression. My brother-in-law had given up any pretense of grilling and was now staring openly. "You don't know what you're talking about," my father said, but he couldn't hold my gaze. "You don't want me to pull up the transfer history from last year, do you? 360,000 pesos. The year before that, another 360,000 pesos. The year before that—" "That's a loan," he interrupted. "I'm paying you back." "Oh, really? Show me one payment, a single deposit you've made to my account in 6 years. Silence. "You know what's funny?" I continued. "I never minded helping. When Mom called me 6 years ago and told me you were in trouble, that you'd made bad investments and were going to lose the house, I said yes instantly without a second thought because you're my father, and that's what family does." I saw Ezra looking at the forgotten bag in his hands. That same day, I set up the automatic transfer, 30,000 pesos a month, every month, because that's what you needed to keep everything afloat, the house payment, the car, the insurance. I paid for it all. "We didn't ask you to," my father began. "Yes, you did. Mom called me crying. You got on the phone and told me you were going to lose everything, that you just needed help until you got back on your feet. And I'm going to pay you back," he said, but the words sounded hollow. "It's been 6 years, Dad. When were you planning on getting back on your feet? Because from where I'm standing, you've been pretty comfortable. Golf every Wednesday, that trip to Cancun last winter, the new furniture Mom posted on Facebook." My sister's eyes widened. "You've been paying their mortgage every month? But they told us they refinanced, that they got a good rate and everything was fine." They lied. The refinancing fell through. They were 30 days from the bank starting foreclosure proceedings when Mom called me. My mother's face crumbled. You weren't supposed to say anything. Why not? Because it's embarrassing. Because it doesn't fit the story you've told everyone about your comfortable retirement and successful investments. We have our pride, my father said stiffly. Pride, I repeated. Your pride is worth more than my son's dignity? You can take my money every month and then stand in my yard and call my child poor? One of the neighbors began quietly gathering his children. The party was falling apart, but I couldn't care less anymore. Ezra earns his own money, I said. He does his chores. He saves his allowance. He understands the value of money better than you ever have. And do you know what he wanted for his birthday? Not expensive toys or video games. He wanted his grandfather to be proud of him. Ezra was crying now, silent tears running down his face. Eden went to his side and put an arm around his shoulders. I didn't mean, my father started. Yes, you did. You meant every word. You've been doing this for years. Little comments about my job, my house, my car, about how your other grandchildren have more, do more, are more. About how Ezra would have better things if I just tried harder. That's exactly it. And I put up with it because I thought that somewhere under all of that, you did love us. That those comments came from some twisted place of wanting the best for your family. I looked at my phone again, at the screen full of transfers, 6 years at 360,000 pesos per year. But you don't want what's best for us. You just want to feel superior. And the only way you can feel superior is by putting us down. Because if you truly looked at your reality, you'd have to accept that your youngest son, the one you always said would never amount to anything, is the only thing keeping you from losing it all. That's enough, my mother said, her voice trembling. No, it's not nearly enough. It's 6 years too late. Elena finally spoke. Why didn't you tell us? We could have helped. Because they didn't want you to know. They wanted to keep up appearances. They wanted you to believe everything was fine while I paid to maintain the illusion. We would have helped, Elena repeated. I know, but then they couldn't have kept pretending. They couldn't have kept judging my choices while depending on the results of those choices to survive. My father sank into one of the folding chairs. He looked older, suddenly smaller. You're going to hold this over my head forever, aren't you? No, I said. I'm not going to hold it over your head. I'm stopping the transfers tonight. No more payments, no more pretending. If you want to keep your house, your car, your lifestyle, you figure it out. My mother gasped. You can't do that. We'll lose everything. Then you'll lose everything. The same thing you were going to lose 6 years ago before I stepped in. At least this time you'll have some warning. Please, she said, the word almost a sob. Don't do this. Not like this. Not like this? Then how should I do it? Should I wait for you to humiliate my son a few more times? Should I keep paying while you tell him he's not good enough? Eden finally spoke, her voice cold. You need to leave. Eden, please, my mother began. Go, now, this party is over. The remaining neighbors started gathering their things, quiet and uncomfortable. Elena gave Ezra a quick hug, whispered something to him, and left with her family. In 10 minutes, the yard was empty, except for our immediate family. My parents stood by their car. My father couldn't look at me. My mother kept starting and stopping sentences. I want you to understand something, I said. In the end, I don't regret helping you. I don't regret the money. What I regret is not setting boundaries, not demanding basic respect in return for that help. We do respect you, my mother said weakly. No, you don't. You resent me because I was the one who saved you. And that doesn't fit the story you want to tell. The story where I'm the one who always messes up and my siblings are the successful ones. That's not true. It is true, and I let you tell that story because I thought keeping the family peace was more important than demanding recognition. I was wrong, because all I taught my son was that he should let himself be mistreated by people who claim to love him. I looked over at Ezra, who was sitting on the back steps with Eden. His face was puffy from crying, but he was looking at me with something like pride. "My son isn't poor," I said. "He's rich in everything that matters. He's kind, he's generous, he thinks about other people's feelings. In a million years, he would never humiliate someone the way you humiliated him today." "It was a joke," my father said, but even he didn't sound convinced. It wasn't a joke, and we both know it. They got into the car. My mother was openly crying now. My father's hands were shaking as he started the engine. I watched them drive away and felt nothing but relief. Inside, I canceled the automatic transfers. The 30,000 pesos stayed in my account. It felt like breathing after holding my breath for years. Eden found me in my office an hour later. The party decorations still hung limply in the afternoon air. "How are you?" she asked. "Honestly, I feel lighter." Ezra asked if Grandpa really depends on our money. "What did you tell him?" I told him the truth, that sometimes grown-ups make mistakes with money and sometimes other grown-ups help them, and that helping is good, but it doesn't give anyone the right to be cruel. I nodded slowly. "I should have done this years ago." "Maybe, but you did it now. That's what matters." Ezra appeared in the doorway, still holding the crumpled plastic bag. "Dad?" "What's up, champ?" "What was in the bag?" I had completely forgotten to even look. "I don't know. Do you want to check?" He pulled out a package of socks, white tube socks, the kind that come in a 6-pack at discount stores. There was nothing wrong with them, except as an intentional message about what someone is worth. "Yeah, I needed socks," Ezra said quietly. My toes were starting to poke through my old ones. My heart broke a little. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't want you to worry. I know money is tight sometimes." Eden and I looked at each other. Money wasn't tight. We were comfortable, careful with our spending, but not struggling. But we had focused so much on teaching Ezra financial responsibility that he had interpreted our caution as a shortage. "It's not that tight," I said. "We're fine, more than fine. And you know what? We're going to be even better now that I'm not paying for Grandpa's things anymore." Ezra thought about it. "Is he going to be okay?" "I don't know. Maybe. That's something he has to figure out. But what if he loses his house? Then he loses his house, and it will be sad, but it won't be my fault. It will be the consequence of his own decisions." Ezra sat on the floor, still holding the socks. "Today was really bad." "Yes, it was." "Are we poor?" "We are not rich, but we are not poor. We have everything we need and most of what we want. That's better than a lot of people have." "But Grandpa said—" "Grandpa was wrong, and he was cruel. He said those things to make himself feel bigger, by making you feel smaller. That's what some people do when they're not happy with themselves." "I don't want to do that." "You won't. You're not like that." Later that night, after Ezra was asleep, I checked my phone. 23 missed calls from my mother. 14 text messages alternating between apologies and anger. 3 voicemails I didn't listen to. I blocked the number. Eden saw me do it. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. They can figure this out on their own or they can't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore." "Your siblings are going to find out." "Good. They can help for once." "They're going to be angry with you." "Let them be angry." Eden kissed my forehead. "I'm proud of you." "Why?" "For taking 6 years to set a boundary." "For setting one at all. Most people never do." The next morning, I woke to an email from my bank confirming the cancellation of the scheduled transfer. 30,000 pesos that would stay in my account. Money for Ezra's college fund. Money for a vacation we had been putting off. Money that was mine to spend on my real family instead of subsidizing my parents' facade. My phone rang. It was Elena. "Is it true?" she asked, getting straight to the point. "Which part?" "All of it. The money, the mortgage, everything." "Yes." "Why didn't you tell us?" "Mom asked me not to. They were ashamed. I thought I was helping." "We would have split it 3 ways." I know, but that's not what they wanted. She was quiet for a long time. What Dad did yesterday was unforgivable. I know. Are you really cutting them off? Yes. Good. They need to face reality. When she hung up, I sat in the silence. No more monthly transfers, no more propping up a lie, no more accepting cruelty in exchange for my help. Just my family, my son, and the truth we had finally spoken out loud. Ezra came downstairs wearing his new socks, the ones from the discount store. They were perfectly good socks. They kept his feet warm. Ready for breakfast? I asked. Yeah, he said, and he smiled. And that smile was worth more than all the money I had ever sent to my father's account. Some gifts are poor, not because of their cost, but because of the spirit in which they are given. And some truths are worth the price of family peace. We were going to be just fine.